Hello, class. So, for the rest of today's lecture, we're going to talk about audio, which is going to help with the back end of the assignment. We've been dealing with audio with pretty much every project in this class, aside from the bakery one. But now we're going to deal with some fixing audio, like I said. In order to do that, you're going to need Audition downloaded. If you got the student version and you paid for the student price, you should have access to the entire Adobe suite. It was the same price as just buying Premiere on its own. I did recommend that you buy the entire suite, so just install Audition. If for some reason you only have Premiere, you can download Audacity, which is a free audio editing program, and do essentially the exact same thing on that. So Audacity, just Google that. Otherwise, if you do have Audition, that is ideal. But for this noise removal that we're going to be doing, either will work. Okay, so this is Audition. This is a sound editing platform in the Adobe suite. We are just going to touch the very, very tippy top of the iceberg of this program. So the soundbite for Audition, which you should have downloaded, just drag and drop that into over there, into the files. And when you double click on that, it is going to bring up the waveforms. It shows a little thumbnail here, but it doesn't really deal in video. So just worry about this for now. So what we see over here are our two channels. We've got our left channel, so left headphone or speaker, and the right channel over here. And this is our good old you and I both know soundbite from the dialogue project. Good times. So the reason that I picked this little piece of audio here is because you may have noticed there's a constant, what I'm assuming is the AC vent running in the background throughout the video. And it makes it a really good candidate for learning the noise removal tool. So let's take a listen.
Action. I understand I've had some trouble signing.
So you can kind of see over here, I just hit the space bar over there. You can see this like constant little zzz kind of in the background rattling vent sound. And then here, where it gets louder, is where they talk. So crash course on frequency quickly. So audio is measured on, you have your amplitude, which is your volume, or levels is what I've called them. That I always have you edit to -12 decibels. And then you have frequency. So human voice, and I'm going to bring up my little notes from an audio lecture that I had here. Don't feel the need to read through all this, but here we have human voice operates at 2,000 to 7,000 hertz. That is what frequency is measured in. But we can hear from like 20 to approximately 20,000 hertz. That's, again, frequency. And as you get older, your hearing decreases. So a young person would hear up to 20,000 hertz, but as you get older, everybody just starts hearing lower and lower. And so the higher being the high-pitched sounds, so women obviously talk at a higher frequency than men for the most part, but everybody's voice varies. So I can talk in a higher frequency or I can talk in a lower frequency. And yeah, so different sounds have different frequencies, like a car rumbling by or a truck especially would be a really low frequency and like a low rumbling sound. But I don't know, maybe a siren or something going off would be a higher frequency, so a higher number over there. So the reason that I'm giving you this information and the reason that you should know about it is because here, this frequency over here of this constant rattling.
Action.
is a really good candidate for noise removal because it's not a frequency in the human voice. So that's why it's really difficult, and you can't do noise removal on, let's say, somebody talking in the background, because they're also like have a human voice, and you would be removing frequencies in both people's voices, and so getting rid of uh, things that people are saying, and so it would sound really distorted. So if you have a background sound, I always recommend just giving this technique a try, this background noise removal a try. Uh, but sometimes it doesn't work. Like, I've had a lot of problems with water. Water seems to have frequencies that are really a mixture of highs and lows depending on what it's hitting, but then it tends to distort a lot more. And you'll kind of see with playing with it, and we're going to give this a little bit of a try. So, thing to remember, it's just easy to remove frequencies that aren't in the human voice. And the only way to really find out if you have a really base level knowledge of audio, which is totally fine, is to just give it a try and see if it works. So, for this guy, I'm just going to highlight part of this rumbling. So, I'm going to play through it.
Action.
And I'm going to be very careful. So, I'm just clicking and dragging to not include any portion of human voice, because then I'm going to be removing frequencies in the human voice and it's going to sound distorted, and we don't want that. So highlighting just a piece of this noise print over here. Then I'm going to go into effects, and I'm going to go into noise reduction and restoration, capture noise print over here. Then it's going to say the current audio selection will be captured and loaded, blah, 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 blah. Basically, what it just means is it's going to remember what you're highlighting right now. So then I'm going to hit Command A, which is highlight all, same as Premiere, and then I'm going to go back into my effects, and I'm going to go into noise reduction and noise reduction process. Right here now, if I just hit apply, it's just going to remove that frequency from whatever was in my noise print from everywhere underneath it. You can always adjust, like, how much do you want it? Do you want it to really apply the effect a lot? Do you want it to not apply the effect at all, or a little bit? And here it is a mid ground, which is the default. And let's hit apply. Let's see what happens. Then it's going to say audio edits with a video file can't be saved directly back to the file. Basically, it's just saying that Audition doesn't write to video files. So let's just take a listen over here.
I understand I've had some trouble.
You and I both know this isn't a matter of settling in. You've displayed a significant lack of...
Little echoey, little hollow, but the noise in the background is gone. So that was the goal here. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to hit Command Z, which is edit undo. And honestly, I don't even know if it did anything there. So sometimes when it brings up those pop-ups, it doesn't work very well. So I am just going to re-highlight this. So I'm going to re-highlight a little different portion over here without that little spike. I'm going to go again, effects, noise reduction, capture noise print. Okay, it's remembering it. Command A on my keyboard, or what is it? Control A for you Windows users. Back to noise reduction restoration, noise reduction process, and apply. Let's see what that sounds like.
I understand I've had some trouble.
You and I both know this isn't a matter of...
That sounds a little better than it did the first time. At least in my opinion, it does. So that's what I want you to do here. I want you to try and remove that background noise as much as possible without it being distorted. And just if it doesn't work the first time, edit, undo, and capture a different part of the noise print and see if that works. Nice and simple. Then you're going to go to File, Export, File. Then you're going to go into Soundbite. You're going to save it. So let's say audio file for SOT. And We're going to tell it where to go. It's going to my documents. I'm going to dump it on my desktop right now. This is the same as Premiere. You're just saving it and telling it where to go. WAV file. That's what I want. I want a WAV file. WAV files are good audio files. Hit OK. It takes like 1 second to export. And then I'm going to go into Premiere. If I had a hard drive, I would move this audio SOT file over here into the hard drive and then into Premiere. But since I'm just doing this for sample, I'm just going to import it there. And so now you'll see it's just an audio file because that's all Audition does. And you guys will have the first half of your project on the timeline here. So that would be over there. But you're going to just drag this entire soundbite for Audition on here. You're going to lock the video file, hit delete on your keyboard to delete the audio file, and replace that audio file, the audio part, with the audio file. And to avoid syncing up, that's why I just dragged the entire thing onto the timeline. And because then I know if I didn't clip the file in Audition, if I drag the entire thing down and just match it front and back, snapping tool is on, it is fully synced up. And
I understand I've had some trouble
You and I both know this isn't a matter of settling in. You've displayed.
And there you have it, a noise removed clip. Honestly, I'd probably give this another try because there's still a bit of a rattle there and capture a different part of the noise print. But that's pretty much it. So that was our intro to audio and frequency. It's good to have a little baseline knowledge of that. In the next video, I'm going to talk about this soundbite for Premiere and editing audio. A little more advanced features in Premiere itself.